This motherfucker has fucking use exemptions for testosterone, all kind of shit. Like, get out of here, be like, I've been doing my research on that. Who comes out of Olympics at 220 and then 240 in a year? Like, get out of here, man. You sound like a dickhead. I know bodybuilders only put 20 pounds of muscle on a year. This is cheeseburgers, my nigga. Cheeseburgers right here. It took me 7 years to put this weight on. It don't matter what PVC take or whatever you gonna take, it ain't gonna work for me. It's something that's called heart.
What I'm saying is, he has failed the VADA test. He's out, if that's the case. That's why it's there. And we can't, as a school, allow people to enter into a ring who have been taking performance-enhancing drugs. Intentional, non-intentional, doesn't matter. He failed the VADA test. So yeah, in that respect, I'm hugely disappointed. I'm not just disappointed personally, I'm disappointed for the show, obviously. I mean, we'll find the replacement, it'll be a great fight. Still Joshua's debut, it's going to be an amazing night, big card. But yeah, I've kind of worked Jarrell into a position where he got this opportunity of a lifetime, and he fucked it.
No, but if he fails the B sample, then he's right. He shouldn't be fighting on June the 1st, and he has to, take whatever ban he gets, whatever suspension he gets, and he has to accept it, whether it's intentional or non-intentional. He's failed the VADA drugs test, and that's what it was in place for, to make sure that both fighters went in clean.
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. What is up? What is up, MCR family? Another daily edition of the show live on YouTube. Obviously, podcast from iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, etc. It's Mixed Combat Radio. I am Matt, the Hipster Hunter. Obviously joined today, as usual, by the illustrious Mr. Robbie Hearns, and we're going to be discussing all things boxing. Big Baby failing another VADA test for HGH. He's hitting some of the biggies, man. Like, I'm waiting for the EPO test to pop, Like, that's what I'm waiting for. He's hitting the big three here, man. And, of course, we have all of the previews that we should have done earlier this week. We pushed off, mainly because, come on, guys, we know who's going to win all the fights this weekend, and that's pay-per-view. And do any of us want to pay for Crawford Khan? Let's be completely honest about that one. But we have to preview them, so we will discuss them, break them down, and dissect all the action this weekend, plus the rest of the news of the day. But like I said, joined by the Han Solo of MCR, Mr. Robbie Hearns himself, second cousin, twice removed of Sir Eddie. Rob, how you doing today?
All good. Yeah, everybody in the chat, welcome. Hit that thumbs up while you're coming in and enjoying the show. I know sometimes you enjoy it so much you forget to actually press it. But like the last show done like 1,500 views or something, and there's like 80 thumbs up. So you must just be enjoying yourself way too much to remember to press it, or go and leave 5-star reviews and things like that. But
or patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. $1 a month is all you get, and you get what, 3-4 shows a week sometimes. It's been more like 2 or 3 now, just with our schedules lately. But you get pretty much a dozen plus shows per month that are behind a paywall for, again, only $1 a month. Go do that.
2, 3, 5, 10.
Yeah, you could do more, but
it's kind of like a GoFundus page.
Yes,
but you get stuff for it. No, it's good. It's good. But yeah, everyone in chat, thanks for being here. But yeah, Big Baby. Now, where did we get the Big Baby name from? And
cheeseburgers, man.
A little touch of human growth hormone. Maybe that helped. Because as we heard, you can't go from the Olympics at 220 and a year later you're 240. But maybe you can go to 315 with a little bit of help, But yeah, crazy times, Jarrell Miller. But obviously, remember, he never knowingly put any of this in his system. All right, so please detect the sarcasm.
Well, and plus the double negative too.
Well, yeah. So yeah, unbelievable. 2 in 3 days. That's pretty impressive.
And then I'll add in the 2014 suspension. I mean, it's not going to be a good one for a Big Baby. I'm expecting a heavy suspension, but let's get into the news, Rob, if we can. Dan Rayfield is the first to report it. Again, in heavyweight contender Gerald Big Baby Miller has failed a second VADA test, this one for the banned substance HGH, 3 sources told ESPN on Friday. To add that, Eddie Hearn has come out and sort of said, yeah, he's failed a second test. He didn't add that it was HGH, but I'm assuming if he's saying that the reporting's correct, that the substance is correct as well.
Yeah, he kind of he when Dan broke the first test, it then obviously triggered Eddie into making some kind of public tweet. So Dan was on point, and then Dan's reported this, and Eddie's come out and sort of confirmed it, but didn't, like you say, didn't actually mention human growth hormone. But well, I think we can assume Dan's probably right on this, and got the substance correct as well.
I would assume. And I would assume also one of those sources are from VADA. I mean, and plus VADA is really great about communication. Like I've been able, like little old us, our channel, we've been able to send an email to Margaret Goodman from VADA and get a reply within 24 hours. So, I mean, they are really good when it comes to media communication, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Eddie alluded to around when he was interviewed about I think it was the IFL interview about the first test. He said he was basically CC'd into an email that had a lot of people attached to it. So this got leaked, you'd imagine, quite easily. You know,
of course.
When more people are told, the stuff comes out a little easier and quicker.
And it's not a matter of like leaking. I don't think like VADA with either their clean boxing program with the WBC or with this fight in particular, with like this fight deal, because I don't think they're in the WBC program. Obviously, this isn't a WBC sanctioned fight, and VADA isn't the testing program for UCAD. So I would assume this is a different program, like this is a different deal, right? I would assume similar to like the VADA program and the USADA program with the UFC before the John Jones situation. Even if before your B side is tested, and for those that don't know, when you get tested for PEDs, you have an A sample and B sample. If your A sample is tested positive for something, your B sample is obviously immediately tested. And if that comes up negative, then it's usually seen as a false positive, which can happen. It does happen.
It's
but
very rare, though.
It's rare, but it does happen. It's not like it's non-existent.
Because it's two vials are taken at the same time,
yes,
right?
Yes, very same time. Yeah.
And they're not labeled as in Jarrell Miller.
No, it's named. It's usually like a number 5873E9.
Probably 315 GW 1516.
And I know like only like real hardcores that like have been like reading all these articles caught that joke, but that was good. And what was I saying about the A side B side? Just sort of to explain the situation with testing. Oh, but usually even if your B side isn't tested yet, that information's out in the public. Like either VADA, USADA, UCAD, like these entities usually release that information before the B side's tested. And even then, if the B side's tested before there's a suspension handed down, before that due process, that information is given to the public. The UFC and USADA program only recently changed that rule to where, like, if, let's say, you, Rob, get tested for something and you pop dirty, and A side and B side's tested, and there's still no due process yet for the suspension, like that isn't all finalized, technically speaking, USADA, UFC cannot disclose that information to anyone, and they would be legally liable for that. It's almost like a doctor with their sort of ethical rules.
I believe now, if Miller wants to kind of appeal this or in some way, he is now allowed to be available to witness his B sample get tested.
Yes.
With like legal representatives or whatever to oversee that procedure. But everyone that I've listened to and spoke to and everything about it, it's very rare that the B sample, because it's literally taken, it's 2 vials from the same visit. It's the same, basically the same test.
I honestly can't think of a recent example where that.
What happened with Mamul Shah? Because he's obviously still. That's the only one that I can think of that I haven't got any clarity on that, but
that's just due to the lack of reporting, probably more so than anything happening. I don't know. It might be more like an Ortiz situation where like he did pop, like it's A side, B side, like it's dirty in a sense, but what is it dirty for? Is that questionable? Does he have a actual medical excuse for why that substance is in him? You know, there's maybe something there. I forget about the charge situation. 47 boxes saying the charge second one was clean. I don't remember that exactly, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's true because I know it does happen. Like I just it's hard to remember. because most of the time, the 99.999%, your B-side's also pretty dirty. But digressing from that, what is going to happen for Miller due to this? I think obviously people have been talking about that since it is HGH, and that's a pretty extreme performance-enhancing drug. On top of that, this is now his third overall sort of positive test, second one in this sort of cycle with the Joshua fight. Obviously, he had the 2014 9-month suspension when he fought Mirko Krokop in a kickboxing fight with Glory at California. I think it was in Los Angeles. I know California is the one that handed him that 9-month suspension. I would assume New York is going to hand him at least a 2-year suspension. It just depends. Like they're
heavy, right?
Look,
they're pretty hard on it. I believe New York are pretty heavy on or take it extremely seriously. They're not one to fuck with.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if this nears to like a 4-year suspension, guys. Not only is it, and again, there's plenty of instances where we can look at other people that pot for the same amount of substances, if not more, and received less suspensions. We definitely have that in combat sports history in the U.S. We do in the last 10 years. Chael Sonnen. But I think Miller's going to sort of be made an example of, and in recent memory, that's been happening more. For example, Canelo. Canelo had a amazing case for a defense, right? Like I would probably, that's one of the hills I will die on and say Canelo has a very great case to not be counted the same as a guy like Big Baby Miller. So, but he got a 6-month suspension. Big Baby's getting something. If it's a 3-year suspension, that's probably realistic. 4-year, I can definitely see that as well. It's going to be his second time getting suspended for this, and again, his third. Leonard saying the second test was not clean. Char got away with it down to a technicality. That Char rep was not at the B sample opening. Ooh, legalities there. Thank you, Leonard, whose information I really trust. So, yeah, I probably believe Leonard is right about that reporting. Rob, your sort of prediction here. The Miller suspension, what's he getting?
Oh, God. I don't know, because sometimes we hear this and it's like 6 months and you're like I said the other night, sometimes these guys are inactive for 6 months anyway. So it's like they haven't missed any time at all. It's between fights is how long, imagine giving Gary Russell a 12-month suspension. That's between fights anyway, right? So, yeah, but I mean, I'm hoping, because I've always said there needs to be some kind of like, wow, holy shit, like deterrent that, you get caught, you ain't boxing for 2 years,
But that's not really a big deterrent.
No, maybe not.
It's not. It really isn't. He'll be back in 2 years. He'll fight AJ again, or he'll be scheduled to fight AJ again. I guarantee it. Fight Wilder. Yeah. He'll make money again. Like he might get that 2-year suspension. Like the 2 years, the low end, in my opinion.
Okay. Oh, well, I'm just going off thinking what we get now. That seems a lot. 2 years seems a lot considering what we get now.
But compare it to who? Give me a name to compare it to. Because again, this is now his second time popping, so you have to compare it to somebody like,
I suppose track record and it's accumulating in the amount of dirty tests. Then I guess it should really increase. But
like I forget what Povetkin got from melatonin in his second suspension, but it wasn't that much. I remember that. But then again, melatonin is not HGH. Like that's where this conversation kind of differs, because HGH, that name alone means so much more to the casual sports listener, right? Like the commission heads, for those who don't know, are like government appointees. Like they're people that don't follow boxing out and out. They're not like scientists. They're not medical professionals. They're not lawyers. They may be lawyers sometimes, but they're not anyone that would actually know PD information in and out. But HGH, everyone knows that's one of the biggies. I think that's why Big Baby's gonna get a gigantic suspension. Plus, it's going to cost.
Imagine taking GW 1516, which has rapid cancer developing properties, mix it with a little bit of HGH. What the fuck does that do? Oh my God. That sounds like a Molotov cocktail for the internal organs. But no, I really hope he is truly made an example of and gets heavy suspension. I mean, like Eddie said, the thing, he had this opportunity, fuck ton of money, and he fucked it. He's blown it. And just part of that intro that I put together was just 2 weeks ago, Fight Hub video, where he was questioned about Joshua. He's shown that he tires a little in the later rounds, and he's like, yeah.
Who was interviewed?
Miller.
Okay,
it was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he said, no PEDs or anything like that are going to help him with that. I was born with this gas tank. All that shit, all the stuff at the presser where he's saying Joshua's got this, testosterone.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
And obviously, we haven't actually discussed it. I don't know if you want to bring it up and read some of it, but Miller's statement he put out on IG.
I don't have it up. Do you have it up?
I can get it instantly.
You can get. I'll talk for a second while you get it. I think, to sort of circle back before we read that statement, what's next for AJ, what's going to happen with AJ, I think it's pretty obvious. I think all sort of signs are pointing to a Michael Hunter fight. Like, everyone's talking about it, and that seems to, like, it's manifesting itself. Even if that wasn't the fight Eddie wants, everyone's mentioning it as the fight to make. It just makes the most sense. I think, like, self-fulfilling prophecy, we're just going to get that fight regardless if that was Eddie's go-to choice.
He's just so you know, for UK listeners, he's the 7-4 favorite, and for American listeners, that's plus 175 favorite at the moment. So just under 2-1 favorite. People like Ortiz are 4-1, so a plus 400.
Wait, are there odds at who gets the fight?
Joshua's next opponent.
Really? There are odds on that? Like Paddy Power?
Miller's still there at a 16-1 shot. Maybe that's changed today. Maybe that has changed today off the back of 16-1 shot on if the B sample's good. That's I don't think they understand how this works.
I really hope people were betting on that.
Oh yeah, I bet he's clean. I bet the B sample's clean. I'm gonna put $10 on that.
Yeah.
16-1, that's 170 back. Yeah, baby. Easy money. Yeah, now do your research on how many B samples come back clean.
That was so great. Oh my God.
Quickly then, Big Baby Miller on his Instagram. I want to thank all of my supporters who have stood by me since day one, and especially during this extremely difficult time. I've not been tuned into social media and other media outlets to focus and channel all of my energies into working hard with no distractions.
I already love that it's just a ton of bullshit already. Like, you know what I mean? Hold on. Let me get some dramatic music out. We need some music for this. Oh no, sad music. Yes.
Have you got like circus music?
No, I don't have circus.
I am absolutely devastated upon hearing the news. My boxing license has been revoked in New York State, and I will be vigorously appealing this decision. I have never knowingly taken, never, block capitals by the way, never knowingly taken any banned substance, and when I found out the news last night, I was totally shocked. My team and I stand for integrity, decency, and honesty, and together we will stand to fight this with everything we have. This is a voluntary test that I was very happy to do, and these results came just 1 week after another voluntary test that I had taken, which was completely clean. I refused to just lie down.
That can't happen, yes.
Lie down and let my dream be taken away from me, when I know in my heart, which is covered in fat and cancer cells. No, sorry, my bad. When I know in my heart that I have done nothing wrong. 15 years of hard work. I'm a warrior. I don't need a banned substance. Remember, don't believe everything you hear and see. The facts will prevail, and I shall be vindicated. I don't have anything to hide, and the truth will make itself known. With Dillian White underneath that first comment. Interesting.
I mean,
That's deny I've taken any shit 101, right?
Well, I mean, who cares? I mean, Miller, like, he already got suspended. Like, what is it now? 5 years ago, half a decade ago. Like, it's not. You don't need a stunt. It's good, man. Like, just say my
It's
bad. I cheated.
It's the I've never knowingly taken anything. It's the usual. It's
Who cares? So Anthony Joshua, what's next for him? You think you agree with me? Like, it's Michael Hunter. Like, no matter what. Like,
it's looking increasingly that way. I think there's a lot of talk. It was like Ortiz. Apparently, the rumblings are that Ortiz wants it, but his manager or his trainer saying it's not enough time. And it's coming out that he's been promised the Wilder rematch anyway. Same for Kalnaki. He's kind of next anyway for Wilder.
which we assumed, right? Like, we thought.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, that was kind of because at one point there was talk of
And also,
him
just
coming to the zone,
so
and
just
then
quickly to add to that, I forget, it was Keith Conley. Yeah, Keith Conley, the manager of Wanaki. I think he came out recently and said, like, look, we have a deal in place for July. Like, we haven't announced it yet, but like, we're gonna announce it in a couple weeks. There's a fight already scheduled for him. So sorry, like, we already have the plan, and we're not gonna just jump on 6 weeks notice and take 3 or 4 million when we, in our theory, in our mind, because it's my fighter, we can beat Wilder in fall, and then we have a belt, and then we go fight AJ. Like, that's always the thought process, guys. Like, come on. Same with
There's a
Ortiz.
lot.
Like, Ortiz would love to go face AJ for $5 million right now. But guess what? He'd also love to go face AJ with that belt that he wants in a Wilder rematch and go get 15 million, 10 million, 20 million, whatever that number is, right? Like, that's what the thought process is. You know, it's always that, hey, that is the big fight, but if I fight this guy or that guy, my value goes up and I can make even more and I can make double that. And I think anyone out there listening will go, hey, if you can hold off, fight somebody else that's worse than AJ, right? Wilder's a far worse boxer than AJ, right? We can all agree with that, at least from a technical perspective. And your value goes up tenfold. You know, like your valuation goes up by 100%, potentially, if you have that belt around you. I understand it, and plus it's 6 weeks. Come on,
yeah, but I don't know.
When's the last time a short notice fight was a good fight? Come on, that doesn't happen.
I don't necessarily see 6.5 weeks as really short notice.
It's not super short notice, but it is under a normal fight camp. We have to admit that. It is 25% less of a normal fight camp.
Yeah.
And if you're starting at 0, if you're not in training, that's a big deal.
Yeah, you know, but Wilder come out and said, you know, he's shocked at well, not shocked at Miller. He's let his family down, blah, blah, blah. And if AJ needs a replacement, he should get on the phone to Ortiz's account because he is always in the gym. Ortiz trains like this, that, and the other. And
sure. Okay. Like, Wilder isn't his trainer. Wilder, are you with him? Like, how do you know that? I think Wilder understand. Well, I think to me that's like fan Wilder speaking. I don't know if like people understand that, like, because I've talked to Wilder, right? Like, Wilder is a fan of the game at times, right? Like, I've talked to Wilder, and there's times where he talks like a fan of boxing. That to me is fan Wilder. Like, oh man, like go hit up Ortiz. That fight would be awesome, right? And plus, obviously, it's a common opponent. Makes sense. But I think Ortiz is going to weigh his options. He's going to go probably fight June or July against someone. Probably not the greatest opponent, and they're going to angle for either an AJ fight in the fall with a full training camp and make a lot of money, or a Wilder fight and still make a lot of money, but they want a full training camp. And I don't blame any top fighter for wanting a full training camp. And if you're out there saying that a fighter is ducking because of that, you don't know boxing. You don't, and vice versa. If you think AJ is out there ducking Ortiz, you're stupid.
No, my only thought is at 40 years old, if Ortiz isn't ready now, I don't think he ever will be. It's just going to slip in. At this point in his career, I think he needs to have grabbed this by the horns. But it is heavyweight though. It is heavyweight.
Heavyweights can last longer.
Yeah, but I don't know. You're saying like maybe he's holding out for that Wilder rematch where he clearly gassed and it was more exhaustion that fucked him up in the end. I know Wilder had to land the punches, but it was under a lot of sort of, duress that he was, I think he blown himself out. And so I'm not sure.
But again, he could still want the AJ fight, but he probably wants it with a full training camp.
Yeah. I don't know. It just feels like there's more bouts on the line. There's probably more money on the line. And then he's in that position to then go back to Wilder. Just like you said, if he beats Wilder, he can go into the AJ fight.
But again, Rob, you must understand this. Like AJ is not the boss battle before the big boss battle, right? Like he's not the guy you get to make your value go up to go fight Wilder, who is a lesser value fight than an AJ fight. You get what I'm saying?
No, I get you. Yeah. It's just I just feel it can work.
What's going to optimize his revenue intake? Is it going to be beating AJ for $5 million and then going to face Wilder for another $10 million, or to be facing a Wilder getting that belt for $3 million, whatever it would be, $2 million, $1 million,
15, 20,
and then getting 15, 20 with the AJ fight? I mean, to me, it makes pretty obvious sense.
Yeah. No, I get you.
And also, we've talked about this before. They probably don't have a lot in the budget for this event to get a big name on short notice and pay him over market value for the short notice fight, right? Because not only will you have to pay Ortiz or White or whoever would be a top Klitschko a lot of money, you have to pay them above their market value for an AJ fight because it's short notice. And they're already paying AJ a lot for this fight. I don't know if they have that in the budget per se. When they could just cut their losses. They already sold 17,000 tickets. DAZN is not really, I think, worried about that being their big subscriber intake in the U.S. I think that was more about trying to get AJ that big U.S. debut. Canelo Jacobs is by far and away the fight they think is going to be the subscriber grower for them this half of the year. And they still have a AJ Ortiz fight in New York later this year. That's still on the table. I don't understand why that's not on the table if Ortiz takes a tune-up. And they both and let's be honest, every heavyweight's taking a tune-up right now. Everyone is. It's just reality.
Like, why would Al Heyman or PBC or anything like that offer their services of one of their guys to save a competitor's card, even though Al Heyman's supposed to be an advisor? Like, yes, go and get this money, that, I advise you to it, but it's counterproductive for their network kind of thing. No, we want you fighting on our network, not somebody else's, and we don't do that. We promise you this. I think it was quoted as, don't do the Joshua fight, but you will recoup this money. We will make sure you sort of get that money in the coming few fights or whatever. With that, we'll cover that. You're not going to lose out on this, that, and the other. So I don't know. Just part of me feels like Boogeyman status has been revoked, even though I think that was revoked a little while back now. He's kind of lost that.
I don't care about that.
No, I'm just saying it's just one of those things. Like,
I just don't care.
I don't believe Wilder's the baddest man on the planet, and I don't, it's like just self-proclaimed.
I don't think any of these heavyweights can call themselves the baddest man on the planet.
No, I'm not saying because clearly it's Joshua. I'm just saying these things, sound bites come out. I'm the boogeyman of the division, or I'm the baddest man on the planet. Is you're saying that. That's great, but you're not going to make everyone believe you. But it's a shame, all this. Obviously Miller well and truly fucked it. The irony of calling Joshua this, that, and the other, while you're absolutely brimming full of performance-enhancing drugs.
While he already was suspended 5 years before.
Before that, yeah.
I know boxing fans weren't like queued up on that because it's not being promoted. Like Eddie Hearn's out there like promoting this fight, like going, "Hey, Big Baby's a drug cheat," right? Like that was the main.
Former suspended ped user Gerald Miller up against.
Yeah, that's not the main
fighter.
Yeah, but it's unlike the first paragraph of his Wikipedia page, guys. Like, come on.
Well, do you see someone change his Wikipedia page?
No. Well, I'm not surprised. I love when that shit happens.
I forget what they changed it. It was like Jarrell, and then Big Baby had been changed to Big Cheetah or something.
It
Miller.
wasn't
It wasn't
clever.
it wasn't like fantastic comedy, but it was someone had. I think Michael Benson put it. All right, which one of you guys has been on Wikipedia and changed Jarrell Miller's thing? Also, there was a video from like 2017 or 16 of Wilder in the car. Someone's in the car with him, and it's like Instagram Live. And they said, "Oh, what about Jarrell Miller?" He's like, "Man, fuck Jarrell Miller." Blah blah blah, going on. He said, "And we know, we're watching you. We know you're gonna get caught." You know, like
no, we do know.
No, he's just like he's saying, we know what you do. We know you're using. We know, like
we
obviously we know from the previous one, but since he's as if to say, I know what everybody's doing. I got my eyes on everybody. Trust me. You know how he goes, trust me. He's doing all that. And basically, we all know you're a cheat and stuff like that. But yeah, kind of sucks for the event, and I don't know how they're going to dress up this Hunter fight, because I don't think anyone's going to go, yes.
Just cut their losses, man. That's what they have to do. Just cut their losses.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie suggested we're going to have to beef up the card. Obviously, he said we're going to put another heavyweight fight on the card, probably. We're going to have to try and just bulk up the undercard to make,
like maybe like one of the guys that wins this weekend, obviously from the matchroom card, they might show up again on the AJ undercard.
Eddie said he quite likes Chisora Parker. He might try and make Chisora Parker for the undercard.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps at least. And plus, I know that Ryan Garcia is going to be on the undercard now, right?
So he says, so it's looking more and more likely my next fight will be June 1st. And I can't see Golden Boy doing their own card on the same night.
No, of course not. Of course not.
So, yeah, I believe Cal Brook is now not going to be showing up on there.
Any reason why?
I just think, well, apparently he's in town in New York, not checking out Khan. He's going to be watching what Terence Crawford's doing.
All right. Well, great segue while we're there. Terence Crawford. Let's get into the Crawford Khan pay-per-view spectacular event that we have to pay the discounted price now, Rob. Huge discount here of only $70. Woohoo!
But why you pay $70 to ESPN, your ESPN Plus subscription will go out anyway for $5. So you're kind of giving ESPN $75.
Yeah, but that's okay. Like at least they're like giving me UFC cards, right? Like I gotta.
I'm just saying,
ESPN
are getting $75 out of you this month.
Yeah, they already got a pay-per-view out of me with the UFC 236 card. Fuck, man.
And Crawford in Dongo, right?
That wasn't pay-per-view.
No, which one was it?
And that's Postal, and that wasn't ESPN.
All right.
That was HBO.
Was it?
RIP.
How much was that?
Shit. That was probably like 65.
Oh, you got it in standard definition?
No, I want to say that was just the HD price. I want to say it was like 65, 55. I want to say. I could be wrong about that. It could have been.
Gary will let you know, because he's the other one that bought it.
Yeah, he's the other guy in the U.S. that bought it. It could have been a $75 one. I don't remember. That was a while ago. That was back when I was in college.
But anyway, you're getting this one, right?
Oh,
God. You know you are.
I don't want to. I really, really don't want to.
Good numbers.
It is a tax write-off. It just look. Call in 323-870-4051 or on Skype, Mixed Combat Radio, if you want to discuss the fights this weekend or obviously the Miller suspension or soon-to-be suspension. But Terence Crawford, Amir Khan, pay-per-view. I mean, what can we say about this? Like, I'm not an Amir Khan fan, right? Like, I think everyone knows that on this show that listens to me. Like, I'm not the guy that's going to be like, oh, Amir Khan was winning against Canelo. That's not me. I'm not that guy. I'm the guy who goes, he got knocked the fuck out by Canelo. He's the guy that struggled with Samuel Vargas only, 6 months ago? I think Terence Crawford at this point in time is faster, better, stronger, hits harder, more durable. I think he is faster. At this point in time, yes, absolutely. I think he's faster. I mean, I don't see this fight going past 6 rounds. I really don't. I fundamentally don't see how Crawford struggles in this fight at all. Khan might have some flurries at times where like he's landing at air and like hitting the gloves of Crawford, and it's like, ooh, wow. Amir Khan threw like a 5-piece, and they were all super fast, but it's not going to be anything efficient. It's not going to be anything effective. You know, I just think Crawford's going to win every single round. He's going to win every second of this fight until he knocks him out in spectacular, vicious fashion. So, shout out to Crawford, Team Bud, all the way. And I'm really going to pay for this. I feel dirty. This sucks.
Oh, you're going to pop for disappointment. You failed. I don't think I have any doubt in my mind that Bud's going to win this, but I do feel Khan is going to win rounds early on. I think it'll just take a little bit of time for Bud to adjust. And Khan's only glimmer is that he can stay switched on for 36 minutes and not sort of exit in it some kind of engagement with his hand down or come circle out the wrong way.
That's what he does.
No, I'm saying that, yeah, when he gets clipped, and that's because of that. He switches off for that split second, and that's all you need in boxing. And he seems to have that button that sends you night-night. So if he can stop doing that, if he can limit those to as few as possible and not get caught, that's his only chance. Look, I'm just trying to present Khan a glimmer of hope, but I still believe, obviously, Bud's going to win. I do think Khan will win some early rounds while Bud adjusts to maybe Khan's speed. I think he will give him a little bit of trouble to start with, but I can just see Bud getting closer and closer and then finding that shot. But I don't want to go hating on Khan. He's stepped in there with, and he's turned down bigger money for the Brook fight and taken this one, and people are like, wait, what? But
that's because the Brook fight's always there.
Nah,
that's not being like chivalrous. That's good business.
Oh, come on.
No,
you're doing him a disservice.
Hey, I'll be the hater. I'll be the hater. Let me put the hater hat on, just because you know why, Rob? Because I know Mitty's gonna be listening to this show eventually. Because this is the Crawford Khan show, so he will listen to this one. You know that. He doesn't listen to all of them, but he listens to this one. So I know Mitty's gonna be texting the group chat maybe tomorrow morning. I can't wait for that one. I think what we were talking about, I totally forgot. I was making fun of Mitty. What were you saying? What was the last thing you said, Rob? I'm totally spaced out.
I just said, I'm giving him the fact that he'll win a few rounds early, and I think it'll take Bud a little time to adjust. And when he does, he'll get closer and closer.
Oh, no. We're talking about the Brook fight. That's what we're talking about.
Oh, no.
Yeah. About him
a disservice because he...
Yeah. I remember you said. No, I remember you said. Okay.
He's just clever.
No, I remember you said. Now, look, we have discussed this before. Maybe it was off air, Rob. But we know that if Khan took the Brook fight and lost, that Crawford fight is no longer on the table. Khan can go and get knocked down in the first round against Crawford. Guess what, everyone? That Brook pay-per-view fight at the O2 in London is always going to be there. It will always be there. So that's why I don't think it's such a chivalrous act. It's just good business. It's very savvy business by Khan. He realizes, why would I risk the Crawford $5 million paycheck by facing Brook first? I can face Crawford no matter what. That Brook fight's there, baby. I'm gonna go collect that $8 million for the Brook fight no matter what. But that Crawford fight, that $5 million paycheck, that might be one I miss. So let me get that one first. I think it's just good business. I'll be honest, Khan has always conducted himself with really good business. I think always maneuvered himself to make money. You asked me this off air, like, is does Khan have a great career? And I said, it's borderline. Like, it's arguable. He definitely has a really good career. With 2 division champion, 3-time champion, I want to say, like, overall. I think he was a unified champ at 140. I could be wrong about that. But, I mean, he's faced some of the best names at 140 pounds, 147 pounds. So I have no issue with Amir Khan. I think he has a fantastic career. Has put on fantastic fights. Silver medal in the Olympics. You know, again, great, borderline great career. But this is just savvy business with the Crawford Brook scheduling.
Who was it he was supposed to fight? And didn't they pop? And then Danny Garcia stepped in. I believe he stepped in on fairly short notice or whatever.
I think wasn't Danny that stepped in on short notice?
Danny stepped in.
Yes.
That's when Danny stopped Khan. But who was Khan scheduled to fight? I can't remember who it was now. Someone in the chat will remember.
I can't remember that off the top of my head. I apologize. But yeah, Khan's had a great career, and he's gonna get knocked out. Right. He's gonna get knocked out tomorrow. I don't know if he's great, but he's had a great career. Like there's 2 different things, right? Like Arturo Gatti, great career, great fighter. Probably not. I wouldn't use that term great, but definitely a great career. You know what I mean? Like there are some differences to that in particular.
Yeah, I think that was my question in our chat. Like, because he had a great career.
Yeah.
And then fighter was like, Midi was all like.
Yeah, like, that's a good distinction. Yeah, great career, maybe not a great fighter. I think that's an absolutely apt analysis of Amir Khan. But anyways, your thoughts, Terence Crawford, Amir Khan, the fight. You think? Did you already give your thoughts?
I kind of did. Yeah, I think he'll give Bud some trouble until Bud figures him out and just gets him out of there. But
the undercard. You want to talk about the undercard? You ready to talk about the undercard then?
We haven't. Yeah, we can do.
Shakur Stevenson, Christopher Diaz. I think it was Rubisky, one of our good chatters, that commented about this fight. Because I said earlier in this week, like, I'm not excited for any of the fights this weekend.
Very quick. It was Lamont Peterson that popped.
Thank you.
Thank you in the chat.
Blue. For that, the topical cream, right? Wasn't it topical cream? Like Starry cream? Anyways, Rubisky in the chat, who shout out to Rubisky. Proud Puerto Rican New Yorker, right? So he supports his Puerto Rican boxers like Christopher Diaz. And he asked me, like, why aren't you excited for the Shakur Stevenson and Christopher Diaz fight? And I was pretty honest. I was like, look, Shakur Stevenson, his legal troubles right now with that video surfacing makes it very hard for me personally, to be hyped about this fight right now. It's really hard for me to separate that right now. That video of him hitting the girl and then now him fighting Christopher Diaz, 2 weeks after that video surfaced? Me personally, I have a hard time doing that. If this was maybe months out, would that feeling be different? Potentially. Let's just be honest about that. We've allowed tons of criminals in our sport, and we love them. Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, prime examples. But they had time for us to sort of get over their crimes in a sense. Shakur, that happened 2 weeks ago, man. It's hard to get over that. But that is a great fight on paper. Christopher Diaz is a really tough fighter. He barely lost that IOTA fight for the WBO super featherweight title. I love this matchup in every way. I'm not picking a winner. I'm not predicting who wins this, but fun fight. Just Stevenson's speed, power, overall boxing ability against Diaz's as well. I think it's just going to be a fantastic boxing display. Rob, your thoughts on this co-main event? Well, actually, not co-main event. Teofimo is technically the co-main, but
yeah, I kind of in the same sort of camp as you. Like, I was kind of like sort of high on the kid. Thought he's once you see this kind of side of people, you kind of can't take away that he's still a fantastic boxer. But
yeah,
you sort of think, bothered. I'm not that invested in his career anymore. I'm sure over time, like you say, however long down the line, and he's in a world championship fight, that will be further back in our minds. But at the moment, like whatever, I wouldn't see. At the moment, I think I'm partly thinking, come on, Diaz, beating. You know,
Yeah, and
you
plus,
can't go around doing that. What, and you can just carry on and be successful in life. There's no justice in that. So, it's just however you feel about it. But as far as the fight, I think we can probably expect Stevenson to come through it.
but
And
it's
look
gonna be
good doing it.
close. It's gonna be rough. Like
It's
this,
gonna be a good fight, but I think he has the ability to come through this and look good doing it. And have a lot of boxing writers talking him up, even more so. So he take away his, like you say, perhaps law, whatever's going on in the background. Just as a boxer, I think a lot of people high on the kid and got a bright future. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm just sort of taken a little bit away from this fight for me. When it was first announced, I was like, oh wow, good step up fight. Well, this is good. It's going to be a good fight. And now it's a bit more, yeah, it's going to be a good fight, but whatever.
absolutely agree. Teofimo Lopez versus Edis Tatley. This is actually a really interesting matchup. Because Tatali is a guy that has really been under the radar, I would say, for a really long time, but has been in the rankings forever, I feel like. Like, he's been in top 10, top 15 WBO, WBA rankings for a very long time, it seems, at lightweight, and never really got a big fight, has a couple losses. I don't think he's really going to win this fight, but we might see a guy like Siliski come out, right? Like sort of that fighter where we know he's not going to be the guy that's going to be a world beater, but he's going to be a good gatekeeper, and he's going to give Teofimo a good fight, potentially probably a better fight than the Diego Magdaleno one, which was so just one-sided. But whatever it is, I think we can all agree Tio should win this fight. The takeover is here. Fugati is ducking the show because he doesn't want to talk about Teofimo Lopez beating Lomachenko. It's okay, Fu. And that's what we're going to happen. Like, I think maybe the Luke Campbell fight for Teofimo Lopez next, but I know Devin Haney has wanted that. But I think this is a good sort of step up to a title fight, what it seems. Rob, your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah. Will we see one of Matt's hype train passengers be derailed? I don't think so. I think I am impressed with Teofimo massively. I think he needs. There's nothing wrong with confidence and self-confidence, but just pump the brakes a little bit on all this Loma talk. You haven't
quickly. Rob, you remember how you always talked about you as a kid watching like Eubank Senior and all the cocky Brits back in the day, right in the 80s. And
I'm older now.
But say, man, you've turned into that old guy yelling at kids on their skateboards, man.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
I used to do everything my kid does, but now I'm, responsible for that kid.
You're a senior citizen.
Don't do that. Stop that. Don't do that. And then I do sometimes think back and think, damn, I sound like a fucking old bastard. But,
I just want you to have some self-awareness about how you're coming up.
No. But I don't know. Was Chris Eubank doing this at fucking 6-0?
Fuck yeah.
No, but not on our TV. We weren't seeing.
Well, because let's be honest though, you weren't seeing whole cars back in the day. You weren't seeing as much boxing on TV back in the day, so that's why. But if you had access to Chris Eubank Sr. when he was at 4-0, 5-0, I guarantee you he was dancing and doing weird stances in the ring after he knocked out people. Like he was doing not dancing, but he would do weird things. Like he was theatric. So definitely 100%. Just like Prince Nassim, I guarantee you had weird walkouts for his pro debut.
I just mean, I think it grows as you get more further up the ladder, and obviously we were seeing the Eubanks on the side of the ring and that. But when you're like first up on an undercard, people are like, just get in the fucking ring. And like, oh, okay, get in the ring, stop fucking about, or you ain't get paid. Just, do you know what I mean? But as the cards get bigger, you're headlining the cards, you get more media attention. That just comes. But no, all I'm saying is, he speaks confidently. Lopez, obviously, but just I think chill out a little bit on this Loma talk. I don't think it's a million miles away, but beat a contender. Who's the best one on your resume at the moment? Fucking Mason Menard.
No, Diego Magdaleno.
Oh, Magdalena, yeah, probably, but
because he had like a WBA regular belt, I think, at one point.
Yeah, so
or challenge for one.
I don't know. So let's see, work your way up the rankings, beating people in the rankings, and keep doing it impressively. And yeah, everyone will be calling for that fight. I think it's kind of being spoken into existence as it is, but don't do it just yet. You're with Bob. Let it marinate. But yeah, I'm sure he'll come through this one and look good doing it. I'm sure he'll have a Fortnite dance, some kind of disrespectful backflip, and sort of gyrating above a corpse.
I love it. Can't wait. That's actually what I will pay for. Let's be honest.
Not sport.
Boxing has never been a sport, Rob. You need to get that through your head.
Yeah, of course it has. Two guys talking shit, and at the end they go and embrace. And
is it a athletic endeavor? Absolutely. Is there a sporting apparatus that controls the sport in any coherent way? No.
All right, I'm just saying, as on a sportsmanship kind of feel.
Oh, fuck that. Fuck sportsmanship. Fuck boxing. Come on, that was your cue. Come on.
Yeah, fuck boxing. Oh, I can't be bothered.
I can't be.
Charles Martin. He's probably Charles Martin facing Joshua next. So we'll get another soundbite soon.
Can you imagine we get Joshua Martin too at Madison Square Garden?
I kind of secretly hope for it.
Just for the laughs?
Just for it, yeah. Just literally for shits and giggles.
You are a sick fucking person. Let's talk about the Danny Garcia, Adrian Granados PBC card on Fox. Rob, don't do your lip like that. I think this is a really good fight.
You're saving the best till last, I can tell.
Yeah, of course. You know that. Yeah, best. Huge air quotes there. I think this is a great sort of comeback fight from the Sean Porter loss, which was a close, tough loss. Really good back and forth fight. This fight probably on paper, other than the Shakur Stevenson Christopher Diaz fight, has the potential for being the best action fight of the weekend, in my opinion. Granados is a guy that comes at you throwing volume. Garcia is a guy that wants you to come forward at him throwing volume to work his counters. I think this is going to be a fantastic fight. We could see Garcia get a huge get upset here, honestly. I think Granados could outwork Garcia in this fight. I think Granados arguably beat Adrian Broner as well. So I just think that this is a fight that I understand why it's not getting the hype it shouldn't get, because this isn't a fight that's going to get hype, but it is a good fight. And overall, this card I think is pretty good.
What's on the undercard? I have no clue. I haven't really looked. Any names?
Andy Ruiz is making his PBC debut against Alexander Dimitrico. So that's a decent heavyweight matchup deep in the undercard. Brandon Figueroa is on the undercard. Who are some other? Carlos Balderas, who won the... Did he win a medal in the Olympics? I don't think he did. But I know he was in the Shakur's year. I remember that. He was in Rio. And a bunch of prospects. There's a lot. This card is long. A lot of names that I don't even know, but a lot of undefeated 5-0, 8-0 guys. Alfredo Angulo on the card for some name value. John Casamora is on the card as well, who beat obviously Charlie Edwards 2016.
Yeah,
somewhere around there. He's on the undercard as well. Fighting for an interim WBO belt. So it's not a bad undercard. Again, I'm not hyped that this is on Fox. I wish Fox fights were better, but this is a good overall card. I like the Garcia Granados fight. I think it has the potential, along with Shakur versus Diaz, to be the best action-packed entertainment fight of the weekend. Rob, your thoughts on the main event and any of the undercard fighters that you recognize?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not hyped it's on ITV4 either, to be honest. But I mean, it's all right.
But if this was ITV, like regular ITV, like ITV1, You get what I'm saying? Like that's where it is. Like if this was on FS2, I'm like, whoa, that's a little bit of a disrespect. If this was on FS1, I'd be like, that's probably accurate, but it's on Fox. You get what I'm saying?
Either way, it's going to be like fucking 4:00 in the morning. So they could put it on BBC One. It wouldn't get many views. Or ITV1, put it where you want. It's going to be 4 a.m. And I wouldn't say many people know Danny Garcia and Adrian Granados.
Okay, but Rob, transfer yourself into a one-to-one analogy of a primetime show. That come on, that's from. I'm not talking about what the UK cares about. I'm talking about the US. You don't get Fox. You don't have Fox FS1, FS2. You don't care about that division. So of course you don't give a shit about it.
No, but okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I think we've seen Danny Garcia when it's against the best, he's come up short, and Adrian Granados ain't the best. So I think this will be a good fight, and I think Danny will come through it. He always seems to come out on top against the maybe like
B level names,
B plus, A minus, whatever you want to call it. But it's when he's against the real top guys that he seems to have come undone. But yeah, and I think who was it? He was looking at, was it Thurman Pacquiao winner, or
no?
I can't remember.
I think it's Thurman or Pacquiao. I don't think it's Thurman Pacquiao winner. I think it's Thurman or Pacquiao. Like he wants to either take the Thurman rematch or fight Pacquiao on pay-per-view.
But that will be the Thurman Pacquiao winner, right? If it's looking likely that Thurman and Pacquiao are going to fight.
But Danny wants to jump in between that. That's what Danny is saying.
Oh yeah, no, it's not going to happen, Danny.
You don't think so?
No.
Does Danny have no name value anymore? Like, do we not think he's a commodity as much as he was? Like, has his stock dropped that much?
I think so.
Okay.
Personally, it seems to. I
don't disagree. I don't disagree. By the way, I'm just.
It feels to me that every conversation is like, oh, Terence, Porter, Thurman, and it's like Danny keeps kind of. Yeah, I said Earl, and then I said everyone else's surname, and then I just went with Earl on that. But yeah, Danny never seems to crop up as much like he used to, I feel. So I do feel he has dropped a little bit, and I don't know why this is in LA. Is it in LA? It's in LA, right?
It's in LA in a very small venue.
So that tells you everything about the question you just asked me, I think.
Yep. Like this is the venue that Loma Corolla should have been at.
Should have been at.
Yes.
Oh, what? So it would have been a sellout.
Oh, it would have been near sellout, Rob. Definitely.
What? 10,000 seat stadium.
Yeah, about that. But I think it's like an 8.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Would have
queuing out the door. It would have been queuing out the door. But yeah, I think Danny will come through this, but I don't think it'll be an easy night for him. Granados, kind of a Porter stylish kind, style.
He's tough. Yeah.
Tough and sort of. He's
not elite, but he's a guy that's going to give you a rough night.
Yeah,
he's not going to be easy. He gave Porter a really tough fight as well. So Granados is a guy that's going to give a lot of the top guys a really rough night, but just not win it.
It's just one of those guys, right?
Yeah. Just doesn't do enough. Is not efficient enough at what he does to really win enough rounds to beat these top guys. That's really the sad part.
It could be like volume, but lack of accuracy, or
absolutely,
or the pop isn't quite there to make it look like effective.
Yeah,
but
compared to these other guys,
it's a tough night for a lot of people. Even though the guy probably won't go on and do anything great in the sport as far as winning a title or anything like that. But yeah, no. All sort of, I'm not that interested in it. Aside, it could well be quite a fun fight.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Any comments on the undercard? Any of the fighters you care to watch? No, you don't have to do breakdowns, but any mentions?
I don't know. I'll sort of maybe see how Andy Ruiz gets on. I think it's Dimitrenko. I don't think didn't he lose his last fight? Who did he lose? I forget.
Was it Brian Jennings or Rivas? Was it Rivas? Oh, I'm looking up right now. Brian Jennings. There's Brian Jennings.
Oh, okay. So see what Andy Ruiz does sort of on his PBC debut. But yeah, no, other than that, I don't think we'll get to see. We'll probably get the co-main and the main, and that might be it. I'm not sure. But and obviously see on social media how other ones get on, and if it's worth looking for, I'll try and find a Daily Motion.
Yeah, I obviously will watch the event live probably or that night, and I'll tell you which prospects that you should probably watch. And I'll send you links. Don't
I
worry about
mean,
that.
if you've paid for a pay-per-view, Matt, I think you should watch that one.
Well, yeah, but I'll probably this one should be on before the pay-per-view. I think because Fox cards are usually on really early, while pay-per-views are usually kind of later in the day. So there might be an offset in.
Yeah, but one's East Coast and one's West Coast, right? So I don't know how.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
All right.
Don't think about that. I think it's more of a. If fights on pay-per-view, they get pushed back to like a 7 p.m. Pacific time start time usually, while Fox cards are usually like a 5 p.m. Pacific time start time.
Okay.
So usually there is going to be an offset. I don't think for example, I don't think the two main events are going to have any overlap. I don't think so. I could be wrong because this is a long card with a lot of fights to get through for PBC, so maybe I am wrong. But anyways, let's go over to the UK. I know Rob is hyped about this one.
Caroline.
Dun, dun, dun. Copyright.
Well, even if we sing it, Jesus.
There's some songs that if you just sing it, you will get copyright.
Damn.
Yeah, it depends like what's happening. Like for example, if right now I know like certain channels, like entertainment channels, they won't hum the Game of Thrones intro.
Damn.
If they're talking about Game of Thrones, they won't. They like something starts humming, like don't hum it. Copyright, and it's hilarious, man. It's hilarious.
I couldn't even hum it. I don't even know what it is. So
don't worry about it. Anyways, Dave Allen, Lucas Brown, Derek Chisora, Sanad Gashi, Joe Cordina. That's right. The fight that matters versus Andy Townend. Josh Kelly versus.
an unbeaten Polish kid.
I'm not gonna try to do that. Am I?
Do it.
I'm gonna try to pronounce the last name. Last name I can try. First name, fuck that.
Yeah, I think even Eddie said that at the press conference.
That verbatim. First name, fuck that.
He said, "I'm not even gonna." Well, he didn't say "fuck that." He said, "I'm not even gonna, attempt it." I'm sorry.
Ronalski.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Ronalski. Josh Kelly versus Ronalski, who's an undefeated Polish guy who I've never heard of. Connor Ben on the undercard. Some other like Shannon Courtney, Nikita Abibi, but whatever.
Bobby.
Bobby. John Harding. That's about it for like the notable prospects on the card. Again, I only care about the Joe Cordina fight and to see Josh Kelly win again. Everything else, care less about on this card. I will fully admit they should have just made Dave Allen, Derek Chisora, and I would have been far more interested. I didn't need these in-between fights. But Rob, your thoughts on this card?
No, I like this guy. It's one of the. It's a
right.
fun card. It's a fun card. It's like
It's all right.
no like leading into a world heavyweight shot or anything like that.
Or any heavyweight shot. Or any lightweight shot. Or not any championship shot, I should say. Because the last one was Edwards, so at least you had a belt on that.
Yeah. Well, we got the British title on the line for Joe Cordina. There you go. The prestigious Lonsdale belt.
But that's heavy sarcasm on those air horns, by the way.
No, air horns stand. Air horns are air horns. Dave Allen been given the headline spot. Been a public campaign to get Dave Allen as the headliner, even though Derek just sort of said, let him do it. It's fine. I think Derek's getting that check. It doesn't matter where he's on the where he is on the bill as far as he's concerned. Just get me that check. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I think it could. Surprisingly, I agree with Eddie Hearn. I just do not know what we're going to get out of Dave Allen and Lucas Brown. It's either going to be a war, or it's going to be. It's just. Allen's in the best shape of his life. He's linked up with Darren Barker. No, you laugh, Matt, but I know this is the thing.
No, let me just make my joke. The bar is very low though, so that's all.
Go and check it out, Matt. You sit there
he is in the best shape of his life, but again, that bar was set really
all right,
fucking low.
He's in good shape. We won't put it as far as he's concerned. He's in good shape. take it out of, compared to what he has been like. But no, I think this is the problem, because Dave Allen has he ever really taken life seriously? Has he ever really taken the boxing game seriously? So this is what I mean, is what are we going to get? Does the shape translate into a new and improved Dave Allen?
And on top of that, Lucas Brown, who knows what he is like? Last I heard, his comeback fight in Australia was piss poor.
He had another one that was not that long ago. Shawatsky, who is a good test for a lot of like in the game. People are like, wow, yeah, that's a good fight, and it was very close sort of fight. And Brown, there was people saying Brown's just fucked the Allen fight right up. He's just lost coming into this fight, but he got through it. But yeah, no, look, Brown, he can land a shot, and it can, it's heavyweight boxing, I guess. But I'm just fucking rooting for Dave Allen. That's all I can say.
Yo, he can't land the shot. Stop, man. Luis Ortiz battered Dave Allen around the ring. Tony Yoko, whatever his name was, sent the fucking Hellraiser at him, okay, to put him out. So Dave Allen has a chin of hell, okay, but Lucas Brown is utter trash, okay? I am sorry, okay? That's why this fight's not good for me. Like, again, if we had Dave Allen Chisora, that's an intriguing fight that I like. I'm okay with that fight. But I'm not okay with these two fights that are obviously in between fights for the Dave Allen Chisora fight, in my opinion. Or maybe a David Price can jump in there and fight one of these guys. Lucas Brown, he's awkward enough. Like, he moves weird, where like this might end up being a 12-round really, really bad heavyweight fight. Or it's going to end in like 4 or 3 rounds and be sloppy, and Dave Allen's just going to plaster him with a shot at some point. I don't see this going any length. I think Dylan White, the reason why that fight went any length of time was Dylan White was cautious. Like, he used the jab. He wasn't really going for like combinations. Dave Allen's not going to do that. So this fight's going to be a sloppy 4-rounder or a 12-round heavyweight shit fest.
You're going to watch it. We're going to do a live fight chat, and you're going to love it.
Jay, Brown ain't trash. Show some respect to our former world champ.
Beat Chagaev, man.
Wasn't that for the regular belt?
Yeah.
Using world champ very loosely there, Jay. I like it.
I suspect you're missing your sarcasm.
No, I definitely know Jay's being sarcastic there.
I'm just glad he's not coming at me. He hates me.
Jay loves you. No, you're thinking Jay Willits.
Oh, different Jay?
Different Jay. This is Jay Prado Jay, man. Day one Jay.
Okay. I think Jay Willits actually likes me, but
Jay Willits got put in timeout.
Oh.
Yeah, he got crazy in there.
Yeah, he keeps saying shit about my hair. That's timeout worthy. I'm only joking. Yeah, and then I know you wouldn't have watched it, Matt, but Senet Gashi, absolutely brilliant at the press conference.
I did see it. No, I did see that.
He said he was translator, and he came out and surprised. I think it was him. Surprised if you. No, I don't know if it was that fighter. But anyway, Gashi said, "I have this fight. I have dreamed this fight 10 times in my head. 9 times I win." And 1 time I get disqualified. It's great. The presser was like all laughing and stuff.
Because for those that don't know, Gashi is probably best known now for getting disqualified in the Tom Schwartz fight.
Oh man, that was great.
And then Tom Schwartz is now fighting Tyson Fury.
And after the disqualification, he came walking up to Schwartz, put his dukes up, and said, "Just fuck it. Should we just carry on? Forget the ref. Come on, let's go again." Yeah, that was a crazy fight. But yeah, that's how we know Schwartz, and that's how we know Gashi, basically. But yeah, I think this will be, again, a fun fight. Chisora, let's see if the old dog has learned any new tricks as far as linking up with Dave Caldwell. I'm pretty sure not. But this, again, how up for it is Derek Chisora. Because if he's up for it, he's a tough night for anybody, and I'm pretty sure he's going to win this. Gashi is not the biggest guy. I guess Chisora is not massively tall guy either, but I think Chisora is a bit wily old dog and will do what's necessary to win this fight. But yeah, it's just a fun card. I think it's not. It's just one of those. It's not. This fight means the winner gets this guy so much, or there's no like clear direction any of these are going. I know David Price has been mentioned. If that for Lucas Brown, if he wins, says he is. I think even in his contract that he gets the Price fight next, because he's been wanting that fight. I think Allen would step in as well if needs be if he wins the fight. But I'm more interested.
Quick question.
To be honest.
Sorry, quick question. Because if you could pick, because obviously you're the prime market for these fights, Chisora Allen or Price Allen, or even maybe Chisora Price, like what variation of those three names do you want?
I think Chisora Allen would be good.
Okay.
I think it'd be a good fight. Again, two guys that could just knock the shit out of each other and not really do any harm to
sort of meet each other in the ring, in the middle.
Just two tough guys. I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I'm more interested in seeing after a bit of a layoff, Joe Cordina, after a layoff.
How long has it been? How long has it been for Cordina? It's been a bit, right?
Yeah.
Was it hand issues?
Months.
Was it hand
he
issues?
He had a hand injury, yeah. And same Conor Benn, he's had time out with a hand injury. And Kelly as well, a bit of a layoff. So yeah, I'm just interested to see these guys come back, and obviously coming back, he's basically stepped in for Ritson, who couldn't make the weight anymore because it was supposed to be Ritson versus Townend for the British, but he vacated. That's why it's up for grabs, and Joe Cordina's coming for this. Really like Cordina, real underrated.
He is the best. He is the best in terms of talent, pure talent. The best British boxing prospect right now. I will die on that hill. Fight me, UK fans. It's not Josh Kelly. It's not Conor Benn. It's not Anthony Yard. It's fucking Joe Cordina. Get it right. Pay some respect.
Yeah, I mean, don't think you can put Yard in prospect anymore. He's now got $4.5 million coming in to fight in Russia against the world champion in Kovalev.
R.I.P. Yard, man.
It's crazy, right? Fair play to him. This is what I mean.
Very quickly, what's the name of his trainer again? Yard.
Tundi Ajayi or whatever.
Oh my God, Tundi, man. Please keep sticking a camera in front of that guy's face. I am so entertained by that guy for all the wrong reasons, but I love it. So please.
He must be trolling.
He has to, right?
Clickbait. He's speaking clickbait. He's a walking clickbaiter.
That is. And actually, no, hold on.
Andre Ward.
Very quickly. AOBZ thinks I'm trolling with my Joe Cordina fanboyism. Rob, you have known me for years now. Can you attest to this, that I am a true Joe Cordina fanboy, and I think he's the best British prospect?
He is, yeah. Matt's not trolling right now.
Yep, sorry.
He's always liked Cordina.
I'll put it this way. You know me, right? Lightweight, man, there's a lot of good prospects at lightweight right now. Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Joe Cordina. If I got to pick one between Teofimo and Joe Cordina, which one I pick in that fight? I'm not going to say yet. Maybe later on the show, but that's a tough one for my fanboyism. That's rough for me, man.
I think I know.
I hope that fight never happens. No, I don't think you do know. I honestly, that one's, I don't know. So you would have to be like a prophet to know what I would pick in advance. I don't know what I would pick in that for my fanboyism. But digressing, back to the card itself.
You would pick Teofimo Lopez.
I don't know. No, right now, maybe yes. Right?
Okay.
But if, let's say, Joe Cordina wipes Townend like off the map, puts a clinic on him, he has that Caleb Plant vibe to me. You know? That's why I like Cordina. He has that. His boxing pedigree and talent is just so masterful.
47 Boxing has a question for you.
Matt, you said PBK was a prodigy. What is Cordina then? Fucking phenom.
Phenom Trump.
I don't know, but that was the only other word that I could think of at that moment, and it works. You know it.
I hate it when the chat like, he said this, so what about that? And you're like, I was just talking, man. I was just talking.
Hey, quickly, Josh Kelly is a prodigy. Cordina is too. I just think I like Cordina's style more. I think he's a little bit cleaner with his technique. Kelly gets a little bit too loose in there at times for me, where I get a little bit uncomfortable with his defense. Cordina is masterful. Like, he never really has mistakes. He never commits mistakes. That's why that Caleb Plant comparison, I think, is going to be absolutely apt in 2 years, 3 years, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe a little bit
I
longer.
don't necessarily see he's going to be like on the Kelly fast track.
No, he's
gonna
not.
be a slower burner, but yeah, I think he's a good. I know a lot of the pundits on Sky and everything. I think the Tony Bellew see him as like the best prospect, the best of the bunch, and kind of the best of 2016 or the GB team or whatever.
Quickly, AOBZ, you know when I love when people say this, right? When they say like, oh, this person isn't top 10, right? Name me 10 UK prospects right now that you think are better boxers than Joe Cordina. I'm not talking about star power. I'm not talking about star power. I'm not talking about name. I'm not talking about any of that. Pure boxing ability. Name me 10 boxing prospects in the UK right now that are better. I would love to see that list from anyone.
That's when you say, "I'll wait."
Well, if he was calling, I would wait. But he's, come on, these guys don't call in.
Play the Jeopardy while we wait for him to type it all. But no, yeah, again, good card. Looking forward to it. No nail biting moments for me. It's just going to be sit back, enjoy the night, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Another good question from Jay in the chat saying, of all the prospects, who would get a belt first? Teofimo, Shakur, Haney, Kelly, Yard. I think probably Teofimo Lopez. A gun to my head, probably Teofimo Lopez. But Haney could easily jump in there. I mean, Yard's like, he's fighting for a belt next, right? So if he wins, it's going to be him, just from a pure time perspective. But come on, no one's picking Yard to beat Sergey Kovalev, who looked probably his career best against Alvarez in that rematch. But digressing, let's run through this news, Rob, and get to some callers, because that's my favorite part of the show is callers. So 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. Skype Mixed Combat Radio. Don't worry, Zulu. I see you still on Skype. I don't forget, even though it's like off there in the corner.
Good man, Zulu. Good man.
Never really look over there, but I remember. Don't worry. And who else is on the line? Let me see. Anyone on Blog Talk? Good old Gary in Dallas. Gary, I see you there. You've been there for a long time, Gary, so I'll go to you first. Don't worry. But let's jump through this news as quickly as possible for our great callers. Some great news here, Rob. Canelo Jacobs. Guess who's going to possibly judge the fight? Adelaide fucking Bird, guys.
What do you mean? What do you mean she's going to judge? I bet she's got a card written out already.
That's true. That's probably true. Look, I feel like any joke that me and Rob can make, like Twitter's already made. So like, this is laughable.
That was the one I just did, by the way.
Ripping jokes off of Twitter and saying on the show is low-key the best thing to do. But anyways, digressing from that. I mean, this is obvious nepotism, obvious. It's an obvious failure of our regulatory bodies in the U.S. The fact that Adelaide Bird, a quite obvious bad judge, continues to get assignments due to A, nepotism, B, there being zero accountability for anyone in these positions, and it's just rather unfortunate, that she's even in the pool for discussion. That when Nevada, right? This is Nevada. When Nevada has their commission hearing and they vote on the judges and the refs, she's in that. She's going to be mentioned. She's going to be voted on, and she should never be hired again, ever. Period. Point blank. Why? Because we have a clear body of work where she is bad. Not only bad, but extremely off. You know me, Rob. I am one of those weirdos that thinks Canelo won both Triple G fights. I know, shocking. But there is no way in hell you can score that first fight 118, 110 for Canelo. It's just impossible. You cannot do that. Not only that, but she scored I'm thinking of what was her name? that scored the Canelo draw scorecard for
With Mayweather.
Was that Adelaide Bird or was that somebody else? That's CJ Ross. CJ Ross. Thank you, Gary. I always get those two mixed up. Anyways,
Did she had Khan beating Canelo at the point of the stoppage, I believe.
yes, she did. Adelaide Bird's awful. Adelaide Bird's an awful
Agree.
judge. She should not be even mentioned anymore. Rob, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, if anything, it shows a complete lack of listening to the fans of the sport as well. Like the voice of the people. You know, it's a joke, but money talks, man.
Money does talk. Speaking of money talking, Gary Russell back, everyone, fighting the big name Kiko Martinez. I mean, Rob.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
I have zero comments to say about this fight other than this is the worst matchup Gary Russell's had in his entire title reign. And it is, right? Like, and he's had some, I would say, like, I'm not going to say nothing fights, but fights against top 15, top 20 opposition that, like, we didn't need, right? This is clearly, like, a top, at this point in time, what, top 70? Top 100 name in the division? When's the last time Kiko Martinez was relevant?
He was just not long ago the European champion, and that's why Jordan Gill, who's just started to get his shine, was calling him out, but he had already vacated because he was looking at getting a big fight in America, and look where we are.
He got a big fight. Shout out to that, man.
Shout out to Kiko Martinez, but Gary Russell, if you want to wait till 2020 to fight again, I don't mind. If that's what 2019's got to offer, just have a longer bit of.
The only way I forgive this is, like, let's say he comes back in like
fights Leo Santa Cruz later this year,
like in August, but it has to be quick. It can't be like in December or like in January. It has to be like summertime, fall. Like, I don't want another 9, 10, 12 months of you doing nothing and then fighting Leo. I don't want that, man. Like, this is a tune-up, stay busy fight. So stay busy. Like, this is definitionally a stay busy fight, and you're not staying busy, but God, fuck.
I think that's how it will turn out. I think we'll probably maybe see, I don't believe I'm saying this, but Gary Russell twice in 2019. I said it. Nice.
Anyways, we're going to move on. Munguia Hogan.
Wait.
I'm waiting. Munguia Hogan.
What you gonna do, brother?
Had apparently no post-PD test. The WBO is going to review their scoring and have 5 judges review it with no sound on. On
Did
top...
you see the video?
Yeah, I did. I did see the video of it was Munguia's reps standing over the judges as they tally up their scorecards. On top of this, we know from a good source inside Tommy Karpensi's camp that there was, quote, no drug testing for the Gilberto Ramirez fight last weekend. So, I mean, I could rant for a very long time about the lack of regulation in this sport, and I would just be repeating myself, so I won't for the sake of time. This is a travesty that this is even a headline, and the WBO and everyone involved should be instantly outed of the sport, instantly. But that's not going to happen.
Did you go back and watch the fight, by the way?
I watched it a couple times. We talked about it.
I didn't remember if you watched that one.
I didn't. No,
I had fights to watch.
I may not have like addressed it in big detail because like I wasn't really like taking notes on it, but it was a good fight, a really fun fight. I thought Hogan probably won it, but
What you gonna do, brother?
I just wanted you to say Hogan one more
is
time.
is that why you set it up?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, man. Never mind. Anyways, moving on. Scott Quigg is off of next week's card, unfortunately, against Jason Velez. And last topic of the day. god, that kills me every time.
That's epic.
No, it was, man. Philip Hergovich fighting Greg Corbin on the Usyk Takam undercard. Cool. I don't care.
Are we bringing up that Ron Lewis have brought out the Dillian White and Oscar Rivas?
Yeah, Ron Lewis. I don't have that from me. Ron Lewis on Twitter. I forget exactly who he is and who he works for. He is stating that there is a deal signed or finalized for a White Rivas fight. No network was named, but I just want more information on that one.
Well, Dillian White done an interview with Boxing Social, and he said his fight should be announced tomorrow, and July the 20th at the O2 against the undefeated fighter, which does sound like Oscar Rivas to me.
It just would make zero sense unless that fight's on ESPN. But
it would be on Sky.
I know that, but I mean, if
for America, I would have guessed that's part of Oscar Rivas being the opponent.
Because timeout, I would assume that would be pay-per-view. I know, but it'd be the first UK in location in the UK match from pay-per-view of the year. It makes sense.
If it was the 20th pay-per-view of the year,
I understand.
Name that's the.
I understand, but it's Dylan White. We have to understand that. We have to realize that, right? And just follow me here, because I have a theory. If it is Rivas, it would have to be a Sky pay-per-view, and that means the Zone does not automatically have the rights to it, and that would allow that fight to be on ESPN Plus or ESPN as well, and there'd be some sort of working relationship between Eddie, Matchroom, Sky, and obviously ESPN.
I thought the Zone had first and last on everything.
No, not pay-per-views. Remember, that was the whole Chisora White 2 discussion, remember?
They passed on it anyway. They didn't want it.
They don't. They don't have the rights to the pay-per-views. Eddie Hearn even said that.
I can't remember.
I remember that specifically. I remember Eddie Hearn addressing that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking this is ESPN anyway, purely because it's Rivas and Top Rank and Eddie and Bob have recently been together.
But if this is regular Sky, it can't be.
Mm-hmm.
It would have to be DAZN, I believe, is how the deal is in place. I would have to go back and find that episode for us to listen to what Eddie said and read those articles. But I believe that's how it's set up. Anyways, digressing. I just want more information about it, to be honest. It's a little bit too soon. If it happens, cool, I guess. I don't.
I like the fight.
It's just I don't.
Rivas isn't a name that the UK are going to be. Obviously we saw him against Parker on pay-per-view. We saw him against Chisora. People we know, right? So
it just doesn't make a lot of sense from my perspective, looking at Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, and how they are trying to maneuver this year for the heavyweight division. It would be a rarity in how everyone's working together. Let's just be honest. But digressing, let's get to some callers.
That leaves. Sorry, one very quick, which means the Povetkin fight isn't obviously happening because he said undefeated fighter. So Povetkin is currently without an opponent or a fight, it seems.
Or hell, maybe we're all wrong about Michael Hunter, and he goes fights White in the O2 in London or whatever, right? Like, fuck, I don't know. Oh, he's not undefeated. Never mind. What was I saying? Who are some undefeated heavyweights right now? Joe Joyce, maybe.
Yeah, but that's not happening.
Just none of it seems realistic. Let's be honest. Let's go to Gary in Dallas. Gary, what's up?
You forgot one very important, well, actually two important pieces of news. First, you went through all these fights, and you forgot to talk about Brandon Figueroa.
I did mention
fighting for a title.
You're using the word title very loosely here, Gary.
Will he get a title should he win the fight?
Not a legit belt. Fuck.
Is it from one of the four major sanctioning organizations?
It's a interim WBA belt. That's not even the WBA regular belt, my dude.
It's not even the gold.
It's not? That's not the regular? I thought that was the regular. That's not the regular?
No, it goes interim. It goes interim, regular, then super.
Think heavyweight. Joshua, super. regular Char, interim Trevor Bryan.
I wouldn't have known that. Okay.
So yeah, Brandon Figueroa will become the Trevor Bryan of the situation. Fantastic.
Shout out to the man, Don King, first man on the phone to Eddie Hearn when the news broke about Miller. First man offering Trevor Bryan.
That was great. But I did mention Brandon Figueroa, Gary. I did mention him.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
Literally
Let's
his name.
try to devote a little more time to all Texas-based fighters. Let's try to make that a goal for the rest of 2019. Is that fair?
You want to what? Talk about Texas?
I mean, you can make it a goal, but it'd be like a New Year's resolution. You give up after a week.
Yeah. And there ain't any
Like
good
going
ones
to the
anyway,
gym?
right?
Yeah. And Tim Bradley said that he was coming back. He says he wants to fight Spence or Amir Khan, which is kind of a weird name because he'll be irrelevant after tomorrow.
Are you off
Yeah,
your
Bradley said
tits?
he'd come
Have you
back.
been smoking something?
Ducking Clarissa Shields.
Yeah. I would like to see Clarissa Shields knock out Keith Thurman, though. That would be
Yeah, I
fun.
knew.
And they can
I
do
thought that
round
was going to
back.
be point one. I knew you was going to say that.
3-minute rounds, 12 3-minute rounds, but she wouldn't need all 12. She would do it in about 3 rounds.
Shout out to her though. She said, "But you wouldn't be saying nothing if I said I'd beat Broner."
Which is so true.
That was a great tweet.
Yeah, Rob, you said
Yeah.
several times, and I want you to stick to it because this is your official prediction. You think Amir Khan is going to be up on the scorecards when he gets knocked out?
Yes.
I want you to.
Wait, you really think
Yeah?
that
Yep.
on most of the judges, like 2 out of the 3 judges' scorecards have
Yep.
Amir Khan
Well,
up?
yeah.
That's your
Yeah.
thought. That's
That's
your
a great-
prediction.
Can
Yep,
you play
if it
the
goes
R. Kelly
past 3
question
rounds,
match?
I'm fucked.
Can you play R. Kelly?
That's stupid.
Yo,
Use your common sense.
Piece of shit! I'm gonna fucking kill you! I'm gonna kill you!
Well,
gonna
it's
kill you.
hard.
how dare you disrespect Crawford like that?
I'm just banking on it finishing in the second.
Yo, no, it's okay. Okay, no, we have to add. We have to add something to that, so that doesn't happen. Where it's like the second round knockout, Amir Khan won the first
If
round.
he won the first and he loses in the second, he
No,
was winning
no.
on all the judges' cards. At
How
the
about this
point
way?
of knockout.
Just like with cuts, like accidental cuts, like if it goes below 4 rounds, it doesn't count.
4 rounds. Yeah.
Okay.
I still stand by it. I still stand by it.
Okay, you still stand by it?
Yeah.
If this
I
goes
said it.
if this goes more than 4 rounds, Amir Khan is going to win most of these rounds and still lose.
Yep.
Fucking A. You are a
You piece of shit! I'm gonna fucking kill you! I'm gonna kill you! I'm gonna kill you!
Like all predictions.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
that one shit.
All right, we'll see. Well, you won't see. 'Cause neither of you are buying it, right? Are you going to stand by that you've been
No.
saying all this time?
I don't think Gary ever said that.
I'm actually not. There's a fight card in Austin tomorrow that I'm going to, so I won't even watch the fight. I won't even illegally stream it. I'm going to
cool.
Austin, which is the capital of Texas, Rob, to watch a card there, small card. So no, I'm actually not playing.
Any Texas prospects on the card you want us to keep an eye out?
One of them are cool.
Rashard Hicks. He's a welterweight. He's 11-0.
Okay.
Rashard Hicks.
Okay. I'll look him up.
So Matt, are you gonna cave or
Yeah.
are you gonna protest this
Yeah.
fight and not buy?
No,
it?
I'm caving.
You're gonna.
Yo, like let's be honest, guys.
Piece of shit.
Look.
Piece of shit. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to
Piece of shit! I'm gonna fucking kill you!
I'm sorry,
I'm gonna
Paulie.
kill you!
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna kill you!
Let's be honest, Gary. I have a boxing channel. Like to not talk about it, to not do content on it live would just be a disservice to our listeners, right?
You want to watch it? Don't
Shut
fucking
up,
say
Rob.
this.
Shut up, Rob. B, I have already given in on the Spence Garcia fight, which I thought was exactly how I thought it was going to be. One-sided as fuck. And the card itself was trash. So, I mean, if I caved in on that, which was $5 more, if I've caved in on fucking far worse. Okay, like this is. I'm caving in. I don't care.
Okay.
And
I
plus
appreciate the
Gary,
honesty.
it's a tax write off, so that's okay.
It is. It is a business expense for you.
Yes, it is.
But you were making a principal move. You weren't going to pay for
Yes.
that out of principle on the ridiculousness of the fight.
Yes.
But,
Well, as you
I
can
understand-
see, I am easily more of a Crawford fan than Spence. So that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you: if if Spence, wow, let me get this right. If Amir Khan fought Mikey Garcia at 147, Amir Khan versus Mikey Garcia at 147, who would you pick?
Wait, hold on. Sorry, repeat that again. Sorry, Rob was sending something in the chat.
Yeah, because I threw about 10 names. Yeah. Amir Khan versus Mikey Garcia at 147. Who would win?
No, sorry, Mike Garcia.
Oh yeah, come on.
No, Mikey. It's Mikey, hands down.
I'm sorry, I can only accept your first answer.
I didn't finish his name. Definitely Mike Garcia.
How about Amir Khan versus Victor Postal at 147 or 140 or a catch weight of 144? Who would you pick in a fight like that?
Victor Postal.
Oh, you hate
Okay.
fucking
In 2019? In 2019, yeah. If this is 2015, it might be different.
No, I would definitely pick Postal in 2015. I thought Postal was good. He lit up Matisse.
How'd you say that
In
with like a
2015.
Texas accent? Postal.
Postal.
You would have picked Matisse to beat Khan, right? Matisse would have knocked out Khan. And Postal disposed of Matisse. I thought Matisse was good. I give Khan a better chance now than I would have 4 or 5 years ago.
Why? Because he lost a great fight to Josh Taylor?
Yeah, he lost a great fight, and he's been inactive. I mean, he lost to Crawford, he lost to Postal. He lost to Taylor, but he just hasn't been active. He just hasn't been in the ring.
Yeah. Khan's been fighting Samuel Vargas.
He's fought since Postal.
And
Taylor.
Oh, he has?
I think so.
Like in Russia somewhere?
I'll have a look.
Wouldn't surprise me. He had a couple comeback fights we didn't even know about in Russia after the Crawford loss, so that does happen.
Postal had fights after the Crawford loss besides the Taylor fight?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. They're just off TV, man.
I would pick.
Yeah.
Okay. I would pick Postal to beat Khan at any weight at any point in their career. I thought Postal was good, which is why I paid $69.99 for the Postal Crawford.
Absolutely.
Me and you and 49,998 other people.
Stupid people. Very stupid people. Yes.
I actually don't regret paying for it. It was
I do.
the two best guys
I do.
in the weight class fighting each other.
Look,
I'll never have
Gary,
a problem with paying for
Gary,
that.
did you watch that one by yourself?
Yes. No,
Okay.
I had a big party when my friends came over.
So-
there. I watched
so,
it by
Gary,
myself. Yes.
I was in college, right? So I was in a townhouse with some roommates, and I was like, "You guys have to watch Crawford, right?" And we had watched Crawford Gamboa together, so everyone became a Crawford fan that night, right? And I convinced everyone to pay the $70 to chip in for the $70 for that Postal pay-per-view, and all the fights on that card were trash. The Crawford fight was lackluster, anticlimactic as hell. That was a rough night, man. I regret that.
If you're trying to take your just regular sports fan that watches basketball and football and try to turn them on to boxing on that fight, that's not going to work. That's not going to. You're not going to turn people into boxing fans on that fight. That was for the hardcores for sure.
Yep.
But you didn't think. I know you probably picked Crawford like I did, but you didn't think it would be a good fight, a competitive fight, a close fight.
Well, obviously we did, but it didn't turn out that way.
No, it didn't, because Crawford is that great. But
Yes.
Again, it was the two best guys in the weight
No,
class
no.
fighting each other, unifying titles.
Gary, I
So I had no problem.
Gary, we will agree that Crawford Postal was more deserving of being pay-per-view on pure merits than Crawford Khan this weekend. We don't need to disagree and debate about that. I think we probably agree on that. However, that fight was one-sided and trash in retrospect.
It's true. It's true. I just wonder if there's anyone besides Spence who could make a fight competitive.
Absolutely.
With Crawford.
Absolutely. Benavidez gave him a competitive, fun fight.
kind of in stages. The second half of that fight, I don't think was close. I thought the second half of the fight, Crawford schooled him. The first half of the fight, yeah, there was some close rounds, but I thought Crawford controlled the second half of the fight. Like, do you think Porter wins rounds?
Yes.
Makes it close again?
Yes.
Do you? I think he loses every round.
No, I don't think that.
Okay. Well, Danny Garcia? You think Danny Garcia wins rounds?
He may win one or two. His style is the worst though for to fight Crawford. Like, he doesn't have the style to fight Crawford. Porter does. Spence does. Even Thurman, I think, has enough tools in the tool belt to really give Crawford some issues. But Danny Garcia, no, he has the style that Crawford can really style on.
Keith Thurman, if we're talking about Keith Thurman circa 2016, he would win rounds. He wouldn't get shut out, but I don't know if he's that good anymore. So, I mean, I would have to say we need to wait on Keith Thurman. He has to fight someone besides Josecito Lopez and look better. But if he comes out and beats Pacquiao or beats Danny Garcia in a rematch, yeah, and he gets back to the way that he was 3 years ago, yeah, Thurman wouldn't beat Crawford, but he would win rounds. He wouldn't get shut out and embarrassed. I just think Crawford's kind of at a different level right now. And outside of Spence, he's just going to beat everyone else up. So it's kind of like Spence versus Crawford's really the only fight in the division that I care about, because I think those two are just kind of at a different level than the rest of the weight class. And not that those guys aren't good. They're just not two of the five, those two guys are two of the five best fighters in the world. So.
EPA, by the
way. Hold on, Rob. No, don't.
Do you think
we're going to get into that.
Do you think Top Rank is bringing back Bradley because they have absolutely nothing else to offer Crawford, and they're going to make Bradley a ridiculous offer that puts him back in the ring?
I hope not. I severely hope not.
They have nothing else to offer. I mean, I've always looked like on every single card that Tim Bradley announces on, I always said Tim Bradley is the second best welterweight in the Top Rank stable, and he hasn't fought in 3 years, and he's 35 now. But they have nothing else, right? If Al Heyman wants to not work with him, he's got no options. He really doesn't.
Gary, hold on one second. We're going to go right back to your call and wrap up your call in a second. We have some breaking news I want to get to, and then go back to you. It looks like ladies and gentlemen,
it's on the radio.
Breaking news.
Not the hip to Hunter, live from the sports deck.
Big Baby Miller has popped for a third time for now EPO. And, well, Jim, I have to say, I am quite surprised here. He has hit HGH, EPO, and this test actually EPO and the original test, GW1516. Quite surprising here, Jim.
Now over to Gary with the weather.
Oh, my God. But anyways, yes, for those that want to know, per Dan Rayfield, I'm sorry, I can't go to Gary for the weather. It's Texas weather. It's hot. It sucks. He is tested positive for EPO and GW1516 again.
They should test his drugs for urine.
Man,
see if there's any fucking urine in his fucking body.
You are stealing all of these jokes from Twitter, man.
I literally know that one. I have my hand up to the first one.
No, I've seen that on Twitter.
Yeah, I haven't.
You still took it from Twitter. Trust me. Anyways, so yeah, this is going to be good. So, Gary, I don't think you really talked about Miller popping. So, obviously, I want to get your thoughts on now him popping for a third substance in this Joshua fight. And obviously with the previous suspension. Thoughts on Big Baby, what's next for his career or lack thereof, and what you want from AJ with all of the lack of options, really. Gary.
I really only want Luis Ortiz, which is weird because Luis Ortiz has popped multiple times for substances too. But I don't care about Michael Bounty Hunter. I didn't even know he was a heavyweight. I thought he was a cruiserweight.
Hey, Muda, he beat Ustinov. He beat Ustinov, man.
And Piccoli.
Yeah, you're right. He did. I could deal. No, it's only Luis Ortiz. I don't want to see Pulev fight him. I don't want to see any of these guys fight. I want to see Ortiz, or I don't want to see him at all. And it's not Joshua's fault.
Gary was like, actually, no, fuck that.
I don't want Pulev. Pulev would get dominated by Joshua. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
I only want Ortiz. If you can't get Ortiz, just cancel the day altogether. Is Michael Hunter from New York? I think he is, right?
I don't know.
Ideally, I guess.
I think he is, and that's why they're going with that route, because Big Baby's a New Yorker. But Big Baby failed for a third substance.
Yes. Well, technically, overall in his career, 4 substances, but 3 in this Joshua fight.
Look, he can't fight again. You're saying I think he'll get 1 year or 2, but you're right. They got to give him at least like 4 years to basically say you're done, like the death penalty, right? Like 4 years, you're out of the ring. But he'll probably just go over to the UK and fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's already with Eddie. They'll just put him over to the UK, and they'll thank him over there.
No, they
Kinda like
won't.
Billy Joe did it. Why don't you think so? Billy Joe Saunders went to the UK.
Because you do understand, right, that the substance Billy Joe popped for is not illegal in the WADA code, but VADA deems it illegal in competition or out of competition. What Gerald Miller popped for is universally a performance-enhancing drug and banned substance in and out of competition across every performance-enhancing body or drug body. Like that, it's not a one-to-one analogy at all. At all.
Okay, I think if not Billy Joe, if Gerald Miller wants to get sanctioned to fight somewhere they will give him a license.
Absolutely,
to fight.
no,
You
Gary, you are right, but UK is not it. What do you?
Okay.
Could he go fight? Could he go fight in Russia or Mongolia or South Africa? Maybe, or like Colombia or Colombia. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, absolutely. But could he fight anywhere that's relevant? No, he can't.
There's a fight. He had him fight Povetkin in Russia with no drug testing.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would give him at least 2 years, but I would like to see I'd like to give him 4 or 5 years. I mean, this is the third substance, and they're not any substances you could say I accidentally ingested. You took substances which you had to knowingly go out and get. You know what I'm saying? So there's no excuse for this, and he fell for 3 of them. So he had no intentions of fighting cleanly, right? Like, he was just hoping he could get away with it, which he couldn't. So just be done with him. This is the second time he's failed a test, third and fourth. So just be done with him. He's done. But for some reason, I don't think that's going to happen. So, what do you guys think he's going to get? Not what do you think he should get. What
2.
do you think he will get?
He's gonna get 2 years.
A year?
2.
You say 2 years?
2
Rob?
years.
2? Okay. I'm going to say.
Yeah, just throw the book at him, man. It's terrible. It is. All jokes aside, it's shocking, really. Well, I know Matt says it's not shocking, shaking his head, but
He popped dirty 5 years ago and was suspended. None of this is shocking, guys.
But I mean,
Just because you did not know about does not mean it was shocking. It's shocking to you, yes. It's not shocking. This was completely preventable.
Okay, this is shocking to me, and I don't think it's very often that within a week or 3 days, a guy popped for 3 different things in 3 days or 3 different tests. One of them had the one from the previous time before, and this is nuts. I don't know. It's just make an absolute example of the guy, and I'm not really bothered if I ever see him with boxing again.
Anything else, Gary?
I think what Rob is saying, and then I'll hang up. It's not shocking that he failed. It's his arrogance that is shocking, right? Like if you were 6 weeks away from getting off parole and you failed for a week, that would be one thing. And then 2 days later, they found heroin in your piss, and then they found crystal meth in your urine. It'd be like, dude, what are you
But
doing?
no,
Like
to add
you were 6 weeks away.
to add to that, Gary, if that same person was at the same time yelling at the cops, "You're the ones taking crystal meth. You're the one smoking weed." That's
You're right about that.
that's
You're
where it
right.
becomes like almost completely comical at some point. You know,
I,
like
I had to laugh when Gary said, "What's more shocking is his arrogance. A New Yorker with arrogance, shocking. I don't know."
Yeah, that's shocking, right? All right, that's all I got, fellas.
thank you, Gary, for the call. Let's go out to Zulu on Skype.
Hey, salute, Matt, salute, Rob,
Salute.
salute, MCR family.
How you doing,
Man,
Zulu?
you gotta be kidding me, man. I just listened to the breaking news. I was like, what? A third one? Oh man, it's laughable right now, man. And if you think about it, man, every substance that he's popping for, I mean, it's no way you can get a cross contamination from Carterine. It's not even for human ingestion.
Yes.
How do you? I mean, how do you get that? Then you get HGH, which is injectable, and now you come with EPO. Which you know what's funny about it? When we was in the chat, I almost chatted it and said, I almost said it in the chat. I guess you go pop for EPO next because it all.
I said that earlier. I said that earlier on the
Yeah.
show. I'm like, look, he's gonna pop for EPO next,
Yeah,
or like that's the next
why I
one.
almost said it, man, because has to be the most performance enhanced athlete that we've seen in a minute, man. I mean, to come up dirty with these three substances, it just really shows where his mindset was at. He actually had to be afraid of AJ. I mean, to tell the truth about it. And not only that, man, I think he's just been getting away with it. And he's been avoiding that clean boxing program for a while, and he makes jokes about it, but it's all coming to fruition now. It's coming to a greater understanding right now. And the champ, the WBC champ, he said it a long time ago that he was on something. Just kind of like Shannon Briggs too. He said the same thing about Shannon Briggs and all of them popping. It's just sad, man. I'm disgusted with him. I think he should get a year for each substance that he popped for. If he got 3, he should get 3 years suspension. I pretty much think that his career is going to be damaged. But I don't know if he even has a chance at getting another title shot. If he does, it's going to be a while, a long time before he does. But moving on with the fights coming up this weekend, man, I'm interested in seeing 2 fights in particular. Of course, Terence Crawford and Amir Khan. And I also want to see Granados and Danny Garcia. And here's why my focus is there. Crawford has to convincingly win. He has to beat Khan like Spence beat Mikey. He got to beat him like that or knock him out if he doesn't knock him out. But if it's a split decision or something like that, I kind of just a little disappointed. Hello?
Don't worry about it. That's blog talk. Don't worry about that.
Okay, yeah. If it's a close fight, I'd be a little concerned about that. And with Danny Garcia and Granados, for Danny Garcia to get back in the conversation, because like you said, you alluded to, he's kind of lost his luster since that one loss. But he has to knock Granados out, which these guys haven't been doing. We know Granados is tough, and he's a guy that's going to be there. If he could knock Granados out, then that puts Danny Garcia back in the conversation, in my opinion. So I'm really kind of watching those two. But Crawford has to do just like Spence did to Mikey. What do you think about that? You guys, you agree?
Rob?
I've just never been. This is Danny Garcia, right?
Yeah.
I've never been massive on Danny Garcia, and I feel like he's a good counter puncher, can really pick a good shot out of nowhere. But I don't know. I think Granados is like. I'm going to pick Garcia, but I think Granados
10 seconds
gonna make him look good.
Yeah, I don't think Garcia's going to look good out of this fight.
I think it's a good style for.
Right.
I think he doesn't do things as well as Porter, which is a similar style. I think Porter's obviously got that nailed, like that style. But I just think he's a difficult guy to look real good against, and I don't know if it's going to really raise Garcia's shine. I think maybe people expect him to beat Granados, and that's why him doing it won't make people go, "Oh wow, he's not."
But I'm talking about knockout. If he
By
knocks him out.
knockout, yeah, I guess that will come with some kind of shine. It always does. You knock a guy out. Some people will say, "Well, yeah, he was supposed to," but I think many people, right? You're supposed to knock Adrian Granados out. I think maybe casuals or whatever, if they're catching it, go, "Who's this Granados guy?" I've heard the name Danny Garcia before, but people he's a tough kid, and it will be something, on the thing. But I just feel Danny Garcia's star isn't quite shining like it was.
And it may not just be that. It may just be that he's the odd man out. Like everyone's lined up for big fights but him. He has a tune-up, and he probably needs another tune-up. Not because he needs it absolutely, or that, Al Heyman thinks he needs one, but because the division already has a plan for itself. Thurman, Porter, Spence, and Pacquiao, those four names are going to be fighting each other in some sort of variations, obviously. And Garcia is just the odd man out. And maybe he fights a Sergey Lipinets next. Maybe he fights a Mikey Garcia next. But those are probably the more realistic names for Danny post a Granados win, even with a knockout. But I don't think he knocks out Granados.
But what kind of win you think he needs to get back in contention? Because he's only lost to Keith Thurman.
It's not a matter of a type of win. He just needs to. He's just not in contention right now. Like, he just lost to Porter. So I just think it's time. It's not a matter of he needs a style of a win. It's not that he needs a certain name. He just needs to win. He just needs to beat Granados and probably be another name just because he's not in the plan right now for those top guys.
Right. And I can understand that because it's kind of funny because like you mentioned Porter. Porter's last win to me wasn't as impressive.
Yes.
He was in a fight. He was in a fight, man. And I think he was kind of almost shocked he didn't lose his title that night. But I'm not upset with them giving him the decision there. It just seemed like fighters like Porter and outside of Spence and Crawford, at the top of the two at the top of the table, in my opinion, he's right up in there with Keith Thurman to me, because of Keith Thurman's layoff and his last performance as well. It's kind of like the same question for Keith Thurman. What's going to really get him back into the shine that we had for him before, before the hiatus, before he took this time off? And he's going to have to come back with a significant win. Me personally, I don't think against Pacquiao is it. I think he's gonna have to either sink or swim. He's gonna have to fight a Crawford. He's gonna have to fight a Spence to get back at the top, because to me it's impossible to get at the top when you're fighting at the lower level, when you're fighting beneath the top guys. It's kind of impossible to get there, in my opinion. But I think Danny Garcia, like, I've never been a big Danny Garcia fan because I don't think he moves enough, but he is a counterpuncher, and he'll throw that punch with his eyes closed, and if he catch it, he can knock you out. So I'm looking. I think that this is just my opinion. If he can knock Granados out, if he can win in a impressive fashion, his name will probably get a little bit more support behind it now in the welterweight division. But for Crawford he has to shut Khan out or knock him out. And I know, Matt, you probably leaning on the side of him shutting him out. But now here's another thing. If Crawford fights in the southpaw stance against Khan, he's going to have problems. I believe he will. He's not going to be as easy as he thinks if he fights southpaw. I'm pretty sure he's going to go orthodox and just keep it that way, because I believe when he goes to the southpaw side, that's Khan's comfort zone, fighting southpaws. And I think he'll be able to tell. Khan is fast now. I don't want to just look over Khan, man, like, well, he's going to just get knocked out. I believe he's going to lose. I believe Crawford's going to win, but there's some things here. If I had to play devil's advocate, that I can say Khan has a chance in these things. And if we find ourselves in the 9th, 10th round and Crawford hasn't done anything significant to Khan, that fight may go to a decision. Crawford may get a split decision. Or if it's not unanimous, then how do we look at Crawford? How would you look at Crawford, Matt, if he went the distance with Khan and it was a split decision.
Really fucking poor.
Rob. Yeah.
Really poor. I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'll be honest. I'd jump off the hype train. Like I'm just being
get off
completely
the
honest.
train?
Yeah, hell yeah. Like if he struggles with Khan, that's a big red flag, massive one. The Benavidez fight, I think, is a red flag for how difficult it was.
Right.
But if he comes out and blasts out Khan and he comes out and fights Spence, beats Spence, it doesn't look like much of a red flag going forward. But if he struggles with Khan and he had some tough moments with Benavidez,
right,
it looks maybe like he is not 100% acclimated to this weight class yet. That's what it would look like to me.
Benavidez was on one leg. We got to he was on one leg. Let's tell the truth about it.
But exactly. He was on one leg, and he still gave Crawford some trouble.
There's no way he should have made it. You think on one leg he'd have made it out of the 5th round or something with Errol Spence? With all that pressure? It's impossible. I wouldn't see it that way.
But then again, that's why I mentioned it's not about Crawford's skill. It's about the size of the division, or the size of him within this division. Maybe Crawford's not a natural welterweight like some have thought, if that's an issue. But I don't think it will be an issue. I think Khan is going to be absolutely dominated and knocked out within 6 rounds.
6 rounds. Well, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on. I'm believing he's going to win convincingly. I'm hoping for the knockout because just like I thought, I didn't think that Mikey Garcia would be able to stand in there with Errol Spence and not get knocked out, but he just took a beating, man. Which in some cases is even worse than a knockout.
Absolutely. Anything else,
Zulu?
Zulu?
Kind of beating. Yeah, that's it, man.
Thank you for the call.
Salute.
Thanks, bro.
We have one more caller today. Listener favorite, Mr. DAZN. Mr. DAZN, what up?
Hey, yo.
How you doing, man?
Sir. It's your boy. Yes, sir. What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. DAZN. It's your boy, H Money. I'm here right now with my boys from MCR. One of the best shows on YouTube, one of the best shows in the world. Everybody hit that like button right now. I need everybody in the chat to hit that like button right now. But let's get straight into the boxing right now, man. Let's get straight into the point, though. I'm Mr. DAZN, man. I'm here to talk about DAZN boxing. I'm a DAZN insider. I can break down any fight for you brothers. So let's just get right to it, man. Big Baby Miller, he always was a bum since his glory days. Yeah, he was a bum in glory too. When Crow Cop at 40 years old beat his ass. So he was a PBC fighter. I mean, what do you expect from that side? What do you expect from that side? What do you expect when they're coming with fighters like Charlo at PBC? Charlo, who just got beat by Tony Harrison, and they say Charlo is just so good.
Dude.
And they say,
hey, Mr. DAZN. Look, Mr. DAZN. Hey, I'm talking, please. I really am not in the mood for this. When you have continually, hold on. I'm not done talking, Mr. DAZN. Please stop talking over me. Thank you. I'm not in the mood for this. When you continually support Jaime Munguia and think he is the best thing on God's green earth.
22 years old.
Mr. DAZN.
22.
So who cares? So who cares? Who gives a fuck?
Matt.
Who cares? That doesn't mean you're jack shit.
Davis is so good.
Mr. DAZN, look, I just don't have the time for this, man. I don't have the energy for this, please. Okay, so I will go back to you. I don't want this, Big Baby, he was PBC. Look at all them scum. I don't want that from you, okay? I don't care about that. If you want to call into other shows and rant about that bullshit, please do that. But if you're going to call into this show and disparage Tony Harrison and Jamel Charlo when you have called into the show time and time again that Munguia is the best guy at that division, stop. Okay? You know that you are full of shit. And you know that we all know you are full of shit when you say that. So don't call into this show and peddle bullshit and stupidity. We are smarter than that. And just because some listeners like you in the chat doesn't mean you get full reign to say stupid shit. Okay, so I'm going back to you now. So please, don't say, well, Munguia is 22. I don't give a fuck that he's 22. He lost to Hogan and needed 0 PD testing. And he needed And now the WBO is going to review that scorecard. So stop.
What you gonna do, brother?
Hogan ain't even top 30, my guy. So what are you doing here? Seriously. Do they pay you? Really? Going back to you, Mr. DAZN, please come with some knowledge for once.
Sorry, Mac, but with all due respect, you sound like you don't know shit about boxing.
Why?
You don't know shit about
Why?
boxing.
Why?
Because you
Why?
disrespected a 22 years old champion.
Cool.
You say Gervonta Davis is so good, he's 24.
So?
You say he's so
Well,
good,
Magia.
he's 24.
Hold on. Mr.
So
DAZN,
what? I mean,
Mr. DAZN, let me talk, please. Thank you. This is how this debate's going to go. I'm in control. Okay? You talk when I let you talk. Okay? Have I ever said that Gervonta Davis is the best super featherweight on the planet? Have I ever said that? Oh, no, you dropped off. That's sad, Mr. DAZN. Can't handle that heat.
I want smoke.
It's sad. You know? Because, again, Gervonta Davis, you keep bringing him up. I never say he's the best guy on the planet. I never said he's going to be the next Chavez. Fucking idiot. Call into other shows and peddle that. I don't have the time for it. I really don't. Okay. Rob, any comments or are you good?
Just yeah, things don't have to get so heated, but you know, I know it's a struggle. I know you.
Look, it's not about getting heated or not getting heated. I'm gonna get heated. If people listen to the show, you guys know, I'm gonna debate about anything like this. Watch the Game of Thrones podcast if you want to hear me rant like this about characters' motivations in a fictional TV fantasy show, okay? That's just how I am. Get over it, okay? But if you're going to call in and say stupid, ignorant talking points, and then when challenged on it, you say, oh, you don't know shit about boxing, and then hang up, my guy, we know what you are. We know you're a shill. And I hope you're getting paid, Mr. DAZN. I really do. I really hope you're getting a check from them. Because obviously, you say so much bullshit on their side, in their favor, that you should be getting paid. Like, just being point blank, you should be getting paid. If you're not, you are losing this hustle and this grift. Because it's a great grift, but you should get paid for an obvious grift. Look behind you.
He wants his scooter at fucking midnight.
Yeah, what are you doing? Look at the time. So I hopped up on Mountain Dew.
And there he goes.
But again, look, Mr. DAZN, I really wish you had stayed on. I really wish you had stayed on and tell me how Munguia is better than Tony Harrison and Jamel Charlo and Jarrett Hurd. I would have loved for that. And I was sat here and said, hey, cool. Compared to Gervonta Davis, who I think isn't as good as Miguel Burchelt, who doesn't have the win that Miguel Burchelt has. Come on. But he's going to call in, a week from now and say how you're his mentor, Rob, and then duck all the smoke.
That's why I just didn't like it. He told us how boxing's, brought his family together, and he was,
That's great. That's great. Awesome.
No,
cool.
I know that he does come in a little, little lopsided, but he's a fan. He's a fan.
Cool. That's awesome. Be a fan. If you're gonna call into the show and you're gonna say stupid shit, prepare to get checked on it. It's very simple, guys. This isn't like other YouTube shows where you can call in and just say bullshit, and the host just go away from the mic and don't say anything for 3 hours. That's not us. Okay, if you want to call in, debate, and have a discussion, prepare to have a debate and a discussion. It's very simple.
Fair enough.
Rob can't come on here and just peddle bullshit. You think I'm gonna let you guys do that? Fuck out of here. Rob,
I believe from what I've heard, DAZN is the best, but I don't get it.
Well, have you heard DAZN is saved boxing?
Yeah. Eddie. No, man.
Anyways,
but yeah, Jarrell Miller on fire.
Literally.
I saw just checking Twitter just to see. People are like, dude, he needs 150 game ban, 50 games. Brilliant. Yeah, Jesus, he's done the hat trick. He's got it all. But yeah,
he did, man. He did get the hat trick. I can't believe I had said that
actually,
earlier.
It is actually quite impressive.
It is.
To have that much shit in your body. Oh man. But yeah, crazy times. Absolutely crazy times. But you know, the show goes on. I'm sure he'll be looking. What am I going to say? They'll find a replacement. Favorite at the moment is Michael Hunter. I don't know if there's going to be anyone outside of that that's going to step in. But yeah, thanks everybody for being here. As usual, again, you were here. You even prompted us. I was actually looking at it when Matt was like, "Yo, check the chat, check Dan's Twitter," and I was actually already looking at it when he said it, and I was like, "Oh damn!" But you know, we go live boxing at the moment. You know, Miller, the gift that keeps on giving. Show titles are crazy. But yeah, hit that thumbs up, share the show. Don't forget patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. Help donate towards the channel, get some extra shows. Just you know, helps us keep things coming, you know, wanting to come back and tell you all the boxing news and talk about it, give you guys the opportunity to chat about it in the chat or in the comment section or even call in. But yeah, enjoying it.
Yo, hold on, Mr. Zone in the chat. I'm not gonna meet you at some other channel's event where one guy makes money and everyone else pays that dude $200 plus travel and hotel. Fuck out of here if you think I'm gonna pay for another man's vacation anymore. Okay, you fucking chill. Stop it. Stop it. You're paying for another man's vacation to fucking Jamaica or something. Weirdo. And you're coming to chat after you hung up? You hung up, my dude. What are you talking about? You can't come in here with some hard energy when you were on the line. You could have said your piece, my dude, but you're not. You're not. You decided to leave, take a breath, relax, and then hang up in the chat now like a little keyboard warrior. Fuck out of here. God. Anyways, Big Baby Miller. It's going to be a fun suspension for him. Crawford Khan, bullshit. I'm going to pay for it because I watch bullshit every weekend. What else? Shout out to LA Bird, man. Shout out to her. I'm surprised not a single caller mentioned that. I'm shocked Gary didn't mention that, to be honest. That was a prime Gary topic.
Yeah, that is a Gary topic for sure.
That was a Gary topic. Yo.
He would have probably...
Hey, the Zone. Call in, my guy. You had your opportunity. Call in next time. Peace.
Later.
You piece of shit! I'm gonna fucking kill you! I'm gonna kill you! I'm gonna kill you!
That's stupid! Use your common sense.
Stay off the weed! Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Just send me location. You know, they're selling y'all wolf tickets, people. You're eating them right up.
Hey, pussy, are you still there?